I'd like to talk about the idea that sometimes we think we've gotten what we want, but we don't have actually any objective standards around it. Here's something we can learn from an aspect of women that we don't generally respect, but the process by which they go through, we should actually employ more so for ourselves. Let me explain. In the way that women are, if not consciously, subconsciously driven to have children, they will go for a man because he's a vehicle towards children. What I pondered was that since I never wanted children, when I met a woman, I found my target. I didn't find a woman that I'd get to know, and then while I'd get to know her, I was constantly, my subconscious and my biology that, like so many other guys, want children and family. While you're getting to know them and while you're with them, you constantly got an antenna up for, that's not mother material, that's not wife material. I never had that. Here's the trap I fell for that I think many guys these days that are less and less reproductively motivated will probably fall for as well, in a very different way, but structurally the same way that I did. Let me explain. In the past, through the history of time, you'd have almost like a 3-stage gatekeeper process for the stability of a relationship. You meet someone, you get to know them through the honeymoon period, which would last, anywhere from a few months to a year or so. And you'd be with them long enough for the honeymoon period to end, and if you could actually enjoy being with them and it was stable and consistent, you could say, I want to be with this person for the long term. Then potentially I'd want to move in with this person. Maybe I want to marry her. And then if that worked out over enough time, then I want to have children with them. What happened to me that I think is happening to a lot of guys, albeit in a different way because of society, my trap was I met a woman and I thought, this is it. I've got my target. And I'd just try to keep the target and I'd excuse it because I'd have her. Whereas in the past, or guys that are family orientated or want kids, they meet a woman and there's something beyond her that they would still want from her. That's the healthy thing sometimes I think that works in the favour of, say, women who want children. A man falls short from that, even in her eyes, just in terms of feeling like, he's not stable, I just don't feel like I'm in love with him. It's usually on the basis of he can't provide for a family and kids. Because I never needed that from a woman. I never needed her to provide me with children or a family. They were with me in the initial stages of the relationship to get to somewhere else that they ultimately wanted to go. That was their goal. I was with them because that's all I wanted. My goal was achieved, but it didn't consistently stay there. It kept drifting away. And sometimes in my case, you fight to keep something that's gone. She was only there temporarily because her goal was somewhere down the line that I didn't want to go. Do you understand what I'm saying, gentlemen? Sometimes the benefit of wanting children helps you assess the person more accurately if they're not a good wife, not a good mother for your potential goal further on. But for myself, the Achilles heel is, because I don't want that, I think I've found my goal. Meanwhile, she's drifting away. She wants to go elsewhere. She wants to go to the land of family and children. Even though she's not admitting it to me or herself, she might not know herself. That's why I'm saying it's vitally important to know who you are so you don't waste time. And so there was no assessment. I thought I'd found my gold, my prize, my holy grail, and I was desperate not to let it leave. I thought I'd found my prize here. It wasn't theoretical in the future, will she be a good mother or wife? No, I'd experienced she was a great partner. I'd had a wonderful relationship for the first year or so. And no one's taking it away from me. I've got that stubborn will where my life, my present, I'll do everything I can to keep it the way I want. If you want family, the good thing is there's the assessment process where you can see, oh no, they're not family material. They're not wife material or mother material. That's great. With me, the Achilles heel is I only wanted her. And I'd experienced what I wanted. and I won't let that leave. Whereas there's no future fictional state I want her to be. That's why it's vitally important to know who you are, what you want in life, how you want to live, what you don't want to change. If you're like me, you don't want children, is that you have a woman initially, you get to know her, you're dating her, she's your girlfriend. That's when you relax and say, okay, I've arrived where I wanted, this is what I've always wanted. And if she changes, if she, unbeknownst to you and maybe even to herself, because women tend not to be self-reflective, and I can see that coming a mile away. But what happens subconsciously is that if all I want is the woman and not marriage and children, and I think I'm safe, you let your guard down, you fall in love with this person in the present. And if she's drifting unbeknownst to you, you don't see it. You think, no, I want to keep this present here. She's proven herself to me that she's the person I want. Don't leave. I don't want my life to change. This is my life with her. There's negatives to both sides, but it's incumbent on you to know yourself. And that's why I always state that it's vitally important. It's essential to know who you are, philosophically and ethically speaking, not for any theatrical kind of intellectual exercise, because it's so essentially practical, gentlemen. It's the armor, it's the walls of your castle. It's what helps you sleep at night. It's the best sleeping pill in the world, where you concretely know what you want from another person. Because sometimes it's naively safe to go, well, my limits are family and children. I won't go beyond that, so I'm safe beforehand. But you might not be. But if you kind of know yourself clearer and clearer, you will hopefully be able to assess the person accurately. Not, I know this person, I don't want her to leave. Well, she might not be the person you know anymore. You're assessing her via an illusion of what you want to keep. That's the trap of thinking you're safe because you don't want children and a family. You could be with the wrong person for too long, or at all, because you want to keep what you think fictionally you have, even though that's not what it is. She's not the person that's happy with you in the present, in perpetuity, forever. She's happy with you for now, and she wants it to go somewhere. And whether or not she admits it, she could say, no, all I want is you. I don't want family or children. I'm a modern person. I want everything you want. If she's always nagging and pushing, chances are she wants what most biological women want. And most guys want family too. I'm not like most biological guys either. I'll happily admit it. I know myself to that degree. That's why I don't want family and kids. It's not because I'm afraid or it's too dangerous. It's just, it's not me. I know myself to that degree. What I gleaned was that even though I knew myself to that degree, and still do, is that I can fall into a trap of thinking I'm with a person and fighting to keep her here with me, whereas she was never the person that liked being in the present with me. She was over there in the future. Something to think about, gentlemen. I'll talk to you later. Bye. If you appreciate my work, feel free to support me. Links on my channel. Thank you.